I never imagined a harmless joke could spiral into something so intense. My name is Alex, a 22-year-old college student with a love for art and a terrible sense of timing when it comes to emotions. I've always been a bit of a wallflower, the quiet type who blends into the background, unnoticed by most. But that all changed the day Chloe decided it would be funny to turn me into a girl.
Chloe.
She's impossibly confident, with a smile that could disarm anyone and eyes that seemed to see right through all my walls. I've liked her for as long as I can remember, secretly harboring feelings that made my stomach twist every time she laughed or brushed past me. She knew it, of course, probably used it to tease me at times, but I never expected her teasing to cross a line like this. It all started on a lazy Sunday afternoon. I was in my small apartment, headphones in, sketchbook open on my lap, when my phone buzzed with a message from Chloe. "Hey, Alex. You busy? Come over. I've got an idea you're going to love." I groaned and set my sketchbook aside. Of course, it would be Chloe with her ideas. But something about the tone of her message, playful yet commanding, made it impossible to refuse. I texted back with a reluctant "on my way," and within 20 minutes, I was at her apartment, heart hammering for reasons I couldn't explain. The moment I stepped inside, I realized this wasn't just her usual harmless teasing. Chloe had set up an entire transformation station in her living room, a vanity full of makeup, wigs, dresses neatly laid out on hangers, and high heels lined up like soldiers waiting for inspection. I froze. Surprise. Chloe's voice rang out, cheerful and triumphant. "I'm going to make you the prettiest girl ever." "What?" I stammered. "Chloe, this is insane." She waved my protests away with a laugh. "Relax. It's just for fun. You trust me, right?" I hesitated. Fun? Transforming into a girl in front of the person I've had a crush on for years didn't feel fun. It felt terrifying. But at the same time, there was something thrilling about the idea. Something that made my heart race in a way I hadn't felt before. Chloe handed me a soft wig, its long chestnut waves gleaming under the light. "This one will look perfect on you. Now, come on, sit down." I sat, hands trembling, as she began to guide me through the process. She applied makeup with an almost surgical precision, showing me how to contour my face, apply blush, and highlight my features in a way that made me look undeniably feminine. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and nearly didn't recognize the person staring back. My own face, softened and made up, framed by the wig, felt alien yet oddly right. Chloe clapped her hands excitedly.
"See?
You're beautiful. Honestly, you could be my twin sister if I didn't know better." I laughed nervously, heart hammering. "Beautiful?"
Me?
The words made my stomach flutter in ways I couldn't explain. And then Chloe did something I wasn't prepared for. She handed me a dress. "It's your turn to choose," she said, eyes twinkling with mischief. "Pink or blue?"
Pink.
My hands hesitated as I held the fabric, soft against my skin. It was childish in a way, playful, yet somehow it matched the sudden rush of vulnerability that Chloe's teasing had ignited. With a shaky breath, I chose pink, stepping into it and feeling the transformation complete. Chloe's grin widened. "Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, shoes. High heels." My knees shook as I stepped into them, teetering slightly. Chloe laughed, steadying me. Every small movement made me acutely aware of the way my body now felt different, delicate, and exposed in ways that both thrilled and terrified me. By the time she finished adjusting the final touches, wig perfectly in place, makeup flawless, I barely recognized myself. But Chloe did. And the way she looked at me, her eyes softening, lips curling in a smile, made my pulse race like I'd run a marathon. "You look amazing," she whispered, leaning close. "Honestly, I could get used to calling you my girlfriend." My stomach flipped. Girlfriend? Did she mean it? Or was it just another joke? I wanted to ask, to clarify, but the words caught in my throat. Her teasing had crossed a line, and yet, I didn't want it to. There was a strange thrill in the uncertainty, in the blurred line between joke and reality.
That was when the doorbell rang.
Chloe glanced at the clock. Oh, shoot. My parents will be home soon. Quick, you need to get used to acting natural as me, okay? My crush is watching. My heart nearly stopped. Acting natural? As Chloe? It wasn't just crossdressing anymore. It was living another identity under her direction. And the worst and most exciting part was, I couldn't tell where Chloe's joke ended and her desires began. The afternoon blurred into evening as I followed her instructions, learning to walk, sit, and gesture like her, my heart pounding at every misstep. Each glance in the mirror showed a stranger, yet a stranger I was beginning to like, maybe too much. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, my reality had shifted. Chloe's joke had become a challenge, a test, and something deeper, more dangerous, had begun to stir inside me. The fear, the excitement, and the undeniable thrill of becoming someone else for her. Little did I know, that playful afternoon would mark the start of a transformation that would change everything. My identity, my relationships, and my understanding of what it meant to be truly seen and truly desired. The first few days after that fateful afternoon were a whirlwind. Chloe had made it clear that if I wanted to continue, I had to embrace this new persona completely. She called me her girlfriend more often than jokingly, and the line between playful tease and something serious blurred with each passing hour. I spent hours in her apartment, learning to move, speak, and even laugh like her. She insisted it was all for content. She was an influencer, after all, but I couldn't ignore the way my heart raced when she complimented me, or the way I felt when she guided my hand or adjusted my wig. Every session started with the basics, makeup. I had never been good at it, but Chloe was patient, insisting I mimic her technique exactly. Foundation, contouring, blush, eyeshadow. Each layer transformed not just my face but my confidence. The first time I looked in the mirror fully made up, I nearly didn't recognize myself. My own features softened, shaped by hands I trusted, revealing a version of me I hadn't dared to see before. Beautiful, Chloe said softly one evening, her fingers brushing my cheek. You really are perfect for this. Honestly, it's unfair how good you look. Her words made my stomach twist. Was it pride? Embarrassment?
Desire?
I couldn't tell, but I knew I wanted to hear them again. Clothing was the next challenge. She insisted I pick dresses, skirts, and blouses, emphasizing styles that flattered my frame and accentuated the illusion. She was meticulous, helping me choose shoes, tights, and accessories. Each outfit made me feel exposed yet exhilarated, a delicate balancing act of fear and pleasure. The high heels were the hardest. My knees shook the first time I stepped into them without Chloe's steadying hand. But with practice, I learned to walk gracefully, each step reminding me how different I felt. My body moved in ways that were foreign, yet strangely natural. I could feel Chloe watching, her eyes soft and approving, and my heart fluttered uncontrollably. There was shame, too. I couldn't deny it. When alone at her apartment, I felt like an imposter, a man pretending to be someone else for her amusement. But Chloe's encouragement, her teasing, her occasional affectionate touches, made the shame ebb into excitement. I began to crave the transformation, the thrill of being her girl, even outside her apartment. The suspense came from the constant possibility of being discovered. Chloe's apartment was cozy, but not isolated. Neighbors, friends, or even her parents could arrive unexpectedly. Each knock at the door sent my pulse into overdrive. I learned to freeze, to control my breathing, to act naturally as Chloe's girlfriend, all while every nerve in my body screamed that I might be caught. One evening, as I sat on the couch in a light blue dress, Chloe handed me a small prop, a purse. "This is your life now," she said with a playful smirk. "You carry it everywhere. Pretend it's part of you. If someone asks, you or me, my girlfriend."
Can you handle that?
I nodded, though my hands trembled. The purse felt heavy, like a tangible reminder that my secret life was becoming permanent, or, at least, dangerously close to it. The emotional transformation matched the physical. I caught myself thinking like Chloe, reacting to compliments the way she did, and even adopting some of her speech patterns. It was disorienting, but thrilling. I wasn't just wearing a dress or a wig. I was slipping into a different persona, one that allowed me to explore sides of myself I'd kept hidden for years. But there were setbacks. Some days I'd panic, convinced that I'd go too far, that Chloe's teasing would lead to embarrassment or exposure. I'd want to run home, change back, and erase the day entirely. Chloe was patient on these days, guiding me back with gentle insistence, reassuring me that she believed in me, that I could do this. And I did. Gradually, my steps became surer, my smile more natural, my laughter less forced. I began to feel comfortable in Chloe's world, yet the tension never fully left me. Every social interaction, every video, every photo, every glance in a mirror was a test. Could I maintain this identity if anyone saw me? Could I control my growing feelings for Chloe as I played this role? The suspense reached its peak one Friday evening. Chloe had set up a live video for her followers, and I was the centerpiece. She adjusted my dress, applied a final coat of lipstick, and whispered, "You look incredible. Remember, confidence is key. Own it." My heart pounded. Thousands of strangers would see me as Chloe's girlfriend, my secret self exposed to the world in a digital frame. I smiled nervously, waving to the camera, trying to match Chloe's confident energy. The chat exploded with compliments, and a small part of me swelled with pride. But another part, my old, cautious self, feared the inevitable discovery. And then it happened. A comment appeared. "Wait, is that Alex?" No way. My stomach dropped. My secret was on the verge of being uncovered. I glanced at Chloe, whose expression was unreadable for a moment before she smiled, whispering, "Relax. This is perfect. Just keep going." The tension, the thrill, the fear, and the desire coalesced into a heady mixture. I realized that crossdressing for Chloe was no longer just a joke or a favor. It was a game of identity, a test of trust, and a flirtation with feelings I could no longer hide. By the end of the night, I was exhausted, both physically and emotionally. My reflection in the mirror was someone else entirely. Alex, yes, but softened, transformed, a hybrid of self and persona. I had faced scrutiny, fear, and exposure, yet I had survived. More than that, I had begun to enjoy it. Chloe's last words before I left for the night echoed in my mind. "Tomorrow, we take it further. Are you ready to truly become my girlfriend?" I didn't answer immediately. My heart raced, my mind spun, but deep down, I knew the answer. I was ready. The following week, Chloe announced the next stage of our experiment, a live-streamed shopping trip in a bustling downtown district. My heart sank at the thought. Thousands of eyes would see me, all my movements scrutinized, my identity as Chloe's girlfriend fully public for the first time. Yet beneath the fear was a spark of exhilaration I couldn't deny. We started at a boutique that Chloe swore had the perfect selection of dresses for me. She guided me through racks of shimmering fabrics, selecting a bright red cocktail dress with a daring neckline. "You'll look unforgettable," she said, brushing a lock of hair from my face. "Confidence, Alex. Or should I say my girlfriend?" The words sent a shiver down my spine. The teasing was constant, but this time it was heavier, more intimate. Every glance, every touch, made me hyper-aware of my body. I felt exposed, vulnerable, yet undeniably aroused by the attention. As we approached the fitting room, Chloe handed me the dress. "Go on.
Try it."
I'll be right here." I stepped into the small room, heart pounding. Sliding the dress over my head, adjusting it to fit perfectly, I caught my reflection. The red fabric hugged my body in ways that made me feel both feminine and unfamiliar. My wig was perfectly styled, makeup flawless. For a moment, I almost didn't recognize myself. This wasn't Alex, it was her version of me. Her girlfriend. Chloe knocked softly. "Come on, show me." I emerged slowly. Her eyes lit up.
Wow.
Absolutely perfect. But the moment was fleeting. Outside the boutique, the city was alive, and every stranger's glance felt like a threat. My steps in high heels were measured, cautious. Each movement carried the weight of potential exposure. Every pedestrian passing us felt like a judge, every whisper of onlookers a possible reveal. The tension escalated when a familiar voice called out, "Alex? Is that you?" My blood ran cold. I turned sharply to see my former classmate, Jordan, grinning as he approached. Chloe, ever the protector and tease, immediately stepped in front of me. "Alex? Oh, you mean her," she said, looping her arm through mine. "Yes, she's my girlfriend now. Isn't she amazing?" Jordan's eyes widened, disbelief flashing across his face. I felt my face burn, a mixture of embarrassment and thrill coursing through me. Chloe squeezed my arm. "Relax. Own it. This is our moment." The next hours were a blur of shopping, posing for photos, and managing interactions with curious onlookers. Chloe pushed me further, insisting I interact confidently with strangers as her girlfriend, to laugh, to flirt subtly, to accept compliments gracefully. Each encounter was a test. Could I maintain the persona? Could I keep my fear from showing? Then came the twist. As we paused outside a cafe for a quick coffee, my phone buzzed incessantly. I glanced at it, and my heart nearly stopped. A message from Emma, my ex. "I see you've changed, and it's not just clothes. Meet me tonight. Alone." My hands shook. Could she have seen my transformation online? Was this a threat or a trap? Chloe noticed immediately. "You need to stay calm," she said, pressing a hand to my shoulder. "Whatever happens, we face it together. You are my girlfriend, Alex. Remember that." The evening escalated further as we returned to Chloe's apartment for preparation for another live session. She had arranged for a high-profile video collaboration with another influencer, and I was the star. The cameras, lights, and production team made every movement high stakes. My nerves frayed when a crew member accidentally knocked over a stand, sending a cascade of lights clattering. In the chaos, my wig slipped slightly, revealing a hint of my natural hairline. My heart raced as I froze, praying no one noticed. Chloe rushed to adjust it, whispering, "Don't worry.
Breathe.
You're perfect." But the emotional tension was mounting. My feelings for Chloe had deepened beyond excitement or fear. I wanted to be hers in every way, yet the shadow of Emma's message loomed. Could I navigate this duality? Could I remain Chloe's girlfriend under scrutiny, or would my past unravel everything? As the final take began, I moved through the poses, smiles, and lines, heart hammering with every step, every glance, every whisper from the production team. A symbolic moment occurred when Chloe handed me a delicate necklace, a charm of hers to solidify our partnership for the video. I clasped it around my neck, feeling both exposed and cherished, the weight of it symbolic of the life I was now fully inhabiting. Just as the cameras were about to stop rolling, there was a sudden knock at the door. A familiar voice called out, and my stomach plummeted.
"Emma." She had arrived.
The room went silent. Chloe's eyes met mine, a subtle smirk tugging at her lips. She whispered, "Stay calm. This is your moment." I realized, in that heartbeat, that my life had split into two: Alex, the man I once was, and this new persona, Chloe's girlfriend. The suspense, fear, and exhilaration converged in a single moment. Every step, every choice, every action from here on would determine not only my secret survival but the trajectory of my heart and identity. The door handle rattled. My breath caught. I had to make a choice: reveal the truth, flee, or fully embrace the persona Chloe had shaped me into. And in that instant, I understood that there was no turning back. The climax ends here on a knife edge, with Alex's dual identity exposed to maximum risk, the suspense at its peak, and the emotional stakes higher than ever. Viewers are left desperate to know what happens next. Will Emma discover the truth? Will Chloe's influence triumph? Can Alex reconcile his feelings and identity? The knock at the door echoed through Chloe's apartment, each rap like a hammer on my chest. My pulse raced, adrenaline flooding my veins. Emma's voice, calm, deliberate, called again. "Alex? Are you here?" I froze. Chloe's hand found mine, squeezing it with a quiet confidence that both terrified and comforted me. Her smirk told me everything. She knew the game, and she was in control.
But me?
I wasn't so sure. Stay calm, she whispered, guiding me to stand taller, smile softer. Remember who you are now. You're mine. I forced a nod, though my hands trembled. The duality within me, Alex, the man I used to be, and the persona Chloe had sculpted, clashed violently. Every instinct screamed to run, to hide the truth, yet a part of me thrilled at the exposure. Chloe moved to the door, opening it just a crack. Emma's eyes flicked immediately to me, taking in the outfit, the wig, the makeup, the complete transformation. A flicker of recognition crossed her face, then curiosity, then something unreadable. You look different, Emma said slowly, her tone neutral but edged with something sharper I couldn't place. Chloe leaned casually against the doorframe, her arm looping through mine. Different? Oh, she's more than different.
She's mine.
Isn't that right, Alex? I swallowed hard, the weight of the truth pressing down. The adrenaline had me shaking, yet part of me wanted to revel in the thrill of Chloe calling me hers in front of Emma. The lines between fear, excitement, and desire blurred, and I realized I had never felt this exposed or alive. Emma stepped closer, eyes scanning me like a detective, trying to piece together a puzzle. I can't believe this. You let her do this? I opened my mouth, but words failed me. Chloe's confident grin widened, and I felt the subtle thrill of submission, of being guided, of being molded. I was caught between worlds, the past that Emma represented and the intoxicating present that Chloe demanded. Suddenly, Emma's expression shifted. The neutral facade cracked, revealing something darker. Perhaps anger, perhaps fascination, perhaps both. You think this is funny? She asked, her voice low, dangerous. You're not Alex anymore, are you? My stomach dropped. Had she known all along? How much had she seen? Chloe's grip on my hand tightened ever so slightly, a silent warning that whatever happened next, we faced it together. Emma reached out, touching the edge of my wig, fingers brushing against my skin. You've changed, she said, almost softly, but the intensity in her eyes made me shiver. Completely. I felt my heart hammering in my chest. Was this the end of my secret? Or the beginning of something even more thrilling? Chloe's whisper in my ear was like a tether, anchoring me in the moment. Whatever happens, Alex, my girlfriend, my creation, remember this. You belong to me now. Emma stepped back, tilting her head, her expression unreadable. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. The tension was palpable, every heartbeat, every breath felt magnified. I realized that nothing would ever be the same again. Then Emma's phone buzzed. She glanced down, and her eyes flicked between Chloe and me. A smirk curled on her lips, and my stomach sank. Whatever was coming next, it wasn't over. I'll be back, she said quietly, almost as a warning. And next time we'll see who's really in control. The door clicked shut. Silence filled the room, broken only by the sound of our breathing. Chloe turned to me, eyes sparkling with triumph and mischief.
See?
You survived.
And now?
Now it's only going to get more exciting. I sank onto the couch, trembling, a mixture of relief and fear coursing through me. The thrill of being caught, of being exposed, of standing at the edge of my old life and the new one Chloe had created. It was intoxicating. As I looked into the mirror across the room, my reflection stared back at me, half Alex, half Chloe's girlfriend. The necklace she had given me glinted in the soft light, a symbol of my transformation, my vulnerability, and my allegiance. I felt both terrified and exhilarated. And then my phone buzzed, another message from Emma. My heart skipped a beat as I read it. This isn't over. Be ready. I dropped the phone onto the couch. Chloe leaned down, pressing a kiss to my forehead. Get ready, my love. The real game is about to begin. I realized in that moment that I had crossed a line. There was no turning back. I was hers, body, heart, and identity, and whatever came next would push every boundary I had ever known. The suspense hung heavy in the room. Outside, The city continued unaware, but inside, my world had shifted completely. I was no longer just Alex hiding behind a persona. I was Chloe's girlfriend, her creation, and a player in a dangerous, thrilling game that had only just begun. And the next chapter? It would test everything: my courage, my heart, my loyalty, and the fragile line between who I was and who I had become. The screen fades to black. Viewers are left hanging, hearts racing, desperate to know. Will Emma return? Will she uncover the truth? And how far will Chloe take her influence over Alex's new life? Alex froze, the camera still recording, as his phone buzzed with a new message. Look behind you. His heart hammered. Every instinct screamed danger, but curiosity and fear rooted him in place. Slowly he turned. The apartment door, which he had locked minutes ago, creaked open. Shadows stretched across the walls. His reflection in the mirror multiplied his panic. Alex the man, and the girl Jenna had forced him to become, side by side. A figure stepped in.
Jenna?
Someone else? His mind raced, his body trembling. The phone camera continued streaming, capturing every second. The audience could see his terror, his vulnerability, every flicker of doubt on his face. Comments flew across the screen, some teasing, some alarmed. A hand touched the back of his chair. Cold, deliberate. Alex jumped, spinning around, only to see a mask of calm amusement. "Did you really think you'd get away?" a familiar voice whispered. Alex's mouth went dry. He wanted to speak, to explain, to deny, but no words came. His dual identity, the man and the girl, was fully exposed. Then the lights flickered. The apartment felt impossibly small. Every sound, his heartbeat, the faint hum of the street outside, the click of heels, echoed like thunder. The suspense was unbearable. A new notification appeared on the screen. "Your next move will define you." Alex's hands shook. Should he run? Should he hide? Should he try to switch back to his male persona? Every option seemed impossible, and yet the thrill of being caught, and perhaps controlled, was intoxicating. The camera's red recording light glowed steadily, capturing his panic, his hesitation, his fear, and the fragile, forced grace of the girl he had become. A shadow moved closer. His phone's screen lit up his face. Alex's face, the girl's face. The last comment scrolled by before the stream froze. "Is this really who you are, or who I made you?" And then silence. The screen went black. Alex was left frozen, alone, or was he? The apartment, the reflection in the mirror, the shadows in the corners, all hinted at something more sinister. The audience is left wondering. Did Jenna enter the apartment? Will Alex be exposed to the viewers or controlled further by his ex? Can he reclaim his identity, or is the girl persona now permanent? The suspense hangs heavy. His transformation is real, the threat is real, and the next move could change everything.